all or nothing. You know what I mean. It's when you're absolutely killing your diet, have one cookie, and feel like a complete failure. What if I told you that that problem is not discipline? It's actually perfectionism. And perfectionism is one of the most arrogant, dangerous, and unbiblical lies in the entire Christian health space. Let's be honest. You think you have a discipline problem. You don't. You have a perfectionism problem. See, perfectionism looks like discipline. It feels like discipline, but it's not discipline. It's a trap. It's that voice in your head saying, if I can't do it perfectly, I shouldn't do it at all. It's the voice that says, I ate one cookie, so the whole day is ruined. I'll start again later. That's where the spiral begins. You know you've been there. You eat the cookie, and the voice says, well, you already blew it. And then you eat three, and then you eat the whole sleeve, and then the whole box of Thin Mints is gone. And then you're standing in the kitchen thinking, what the heck is wrong with me? And then you go to bed telling yourself, I'm a failure. I knew it wouldn't work this time. I always fail. I'll start again later. Or what's the point? And you've been saying that for years now. If that's you, that's not a discipline problem. It's a psychological phenomenon called the abstinence violation effect. I know, fancy term, you don't need to remember it, but it's the same shame cycle that keeps addicts in addiction. It's the belief that one slip means total failure, but it doesn't apply to every area of your life now, does it? Because you don't mess up one note at church, sit down and stop singing. You don't yell at your spouse and get a divorce, right? It's just this area, which tells us something. It tells us that it's not just a psychological problem, it's a spiritual problem. It's arrogance. Think about it. You're getting mad at yourself for not being perfect. Let me ask you a question. How many people on the face of this planet ever have been able to be perfect? That's right. One, Jesus. Is that you? No, it's not. But yet we get so mad at ourselves for not being able to be perfect in this one area, mind you. But what we're doing is we're actually getting mad at ourselves for not being Jesus Christ. How arrogant is that? Now we're called to strive to be more like him. Yeah, but we're not called to beat ourselves up for not being him, especially when it comes to Thin Mints. Romans 3:23 says all have fallen short. Not everybody, but you. Oh, God never expected perfection from you. He expected faithfulness. And that's the key that changes everything here. For years, I was stuck in the all or nothing cycle, whether it came to vaping, drugs, alcohol, porn, no matter what it was. There was always a new promise. And then a couple days later, I'd slip up and I thought I was a total failure. Then I realized maybe this isn't just a discipline problem. Maybe I do have a perfectionism. So I created a fix and I want to share it with you today. I gave every habit two levels, the floor and the full. Another way to look at it is the minimum and the goal. The floor is the bare minimum that I do every day, even on the hardest days, to stay faithful and consistent. This is the non-negotiable act of stewardship that keeps the promise that I've not only made to God, but to myself, even when I don't have the capacity for what I want to accomplish. Think of it as a bare minimum standard. I'm not allowed to fail it by bare minimum standards. Make sense? The full is what I do on a good day, when I have the time, energy, capacity, the kids haven't driven me nuts, and I got 9 hours of sleep. Needless to say, that doesn't happen often. But it's also the goal, right? The part that you've missed is you're allowed to fail at a goal. We can shoot for them, but you're allowed to fail at them. That was taught to you when you were a kid. So here's what the floor and the full looks like in real life. When it comes to my workouts, maybe it's a 10-minute workout, but the full is an hour-long strength training session. When it comes to steps, it's 6,000 minimum. On a good day, at least 10,000. With the Bible, it's maybe reading one chapter. That's the floor. The full is a 30 to an hour-long deep dive study, looking at the Hebrew and the Greek. With my food, the floor is protein at every single meal, maybe even just shakes. The full is meal prep, taking my food with me everywhere I go for the whole week. With water, the floor is waking up, having a glass the second I wake up and before every meal. The full is half my body weight in ounces. With prayer, the floor is pray first thing in the morning, last thing at night. The full is on my knees, praying before anybody wakes up, praying over Leah on my knees, my kids on my knees, throughout the day, in between my tasks and at night. See, this isn't about lowering our standards. It's about understanding our assignment. God told us in Luke 16:10, one who is faithful in very little is also faithful in much. I know he's talking about the knowledge that he gives us about him, but it applies here too, don't you think? See, the floor is daily faithfulness. It's not just this nice, cute idea that I came up with. It's behavioral psychology and biblical truth working together. From a psychology perspective, this is how you build identity-based habits. James Clear, in his book Atomic Habits, if you haven't read it, you need to, says that every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. The floor is casting a vote for your identity, even on the hardest of days. The full is casting a bigger vote on the easiest or the good days. Both are votes. Both count. Both build the identity of someone who is faithful with everything they are given, no matter what life throws at them. They are faithful in building their identity in Christ, a loving, faithful son or daughter of the Most High King. Think about it as the Egyptians wandered in the wilderness. Call it the manna principle. God gave them exactly what they needed every single day. Nothing more, nothing less. See, this is how we stop letting perfectionism steal our consistency, because the goal is faithfulness, not flawlessness. I want you to do something right now. Not later, not tomorrow, right now. Unless you're driving, then do it later. Take out a piece of paper or open up the Notes app on your phone. I want you to write down 3 habits that you've been struggling to stay consistent with. Now give each one a floor and a full. That's it. That's the assignment. Your minimum and your goal, the floor and the full. Because the person who hits the floor every single day will be miles ahead of the person who waits for the perfect day, for the full. And if you've been struggling with motivation, motivation follows action. And the floor is the action, brothers and sisters. This is how we beat the all or nothing. If you're done with the all or nothing cycle for good, I want you to comment Temple Keeper below. It's time to choose faithfulness over flawlessness. And if you know you need a hand walking this out, this is exactly what we built the Temple Keeper Academy from. We've given you a day-to-day blueprint, accountability groups, weekly check-ins, weekly coaching calls with me and Leah, and your workouts program. This is exactly what you need if you've struggled with all or nothing. If the Academy sounds like it's for you, we're going to give you a 7-day free trial. The link's in the description below. Now, if you want to go all in, and I mean all in, looking at your blood work, uncovering the psychological reasons why you've been going with all or nothing, diving deep into your nutrition, custom workouts, weekly Zoom calls with me. That's what one-on-one coaching looks like. I'm going to drop the link for that. Now, that is an application process because I only take 10 clients at a time. Brothers and sisters, all or nothing does not fit with our identity in Christ. His grace is new every morning. Now, the question is, will you step into it or abuse it? I love you. I'll see you next time.